Good afternoon, everyone. We are live here on YouTube. We are going to be kicking off very shortly our Grow For Me webinar, and I will be giving you all information about how you can become Grow For Me sponsors. So do stay tuned while we wait for people. Good afternoon, everyone. We are live. Just wait for a few more people to be joining us on this live stream, and we will kick off very, very soon. Great, let's kick off anyway. So my name is Lorraine Wright, the Head of Sales for Grow For Me. This is our weekly webinar for Grow For Me, just so that people can find out more about how to become a sponsor as part of Grow For Me. So I'll be walking you through how you can onboard, more about who the company and who's behind the company and what we do. And hopefully by the end of this webinar, you'll understand more about what Grow For Me do. And I'm sure you'll be more than excited to get started up. So I will begin to share my screen so that we can all see the presentation. So, brilliant. So, Grow For Me. Just so everyone understands, I wear two hats. I am, firstly, I believe, a customer of Grow For Me, and secondly, the head of sales. So I actually came across the company, and a lot of people I speak to, I always tell this. I came across the company as a customer first. I happened to know one of the co-founders of the company when the company was just getting started up. And I was looking for an opportunity to invest my money without getting my hands dirty. And I was told about this brilliant opportunity with Grow For Me, where I can literally put some money into the company. They will basically grow crops on my behalf, and I'll sit back, relax, and enjoy the returns. So I came across the company, I shared the opportunity with a number of other people, and one thing led to another, and I became the head of sales. So I am speaking today with firstly my hat on as a customer, and secondly my hat on as a member of this fantastic team. So Grow For Me are essentially a web-based crowdfunding and agricultural platform. We enable anyone to farm wherever you are in the world, and enable anyone to farm and generate some reasonably good returns. So really what we do is we enable people from across the world to sponsor experienced farmers in a profit sharing model. And what we do is we do that to enable some smallholder farmers to grow more crops. We're all about social impact with what we do. We're all about making food more accessible and more affordable to people across Africa. We're really addressing some of these sustainable development goals, specifically 1 and 2, to make sure that there's food security for everyone. What we do is we're all about transparency, enabling people to track and manage their farm and monitor it whilst they're in the comfort of their own home. So we provide satellite imagery, drone imagery. We enable if you're in Ghana and looking to visit the farms, that is all available to you to monitor the progress of the crops over time. We at Grow For Me focus on high demand crops. So really what we do is focus on crops such as maize, soybean, pineapple, and rice at the moment. But very soon we're going to be looking at doing crops such as sorghum, pepper, which you'll see coming soon on our website, cabbage, and other cash crops as well. One important thing to note is that we are Security and Exchange Commission approved in Ghana, that's known as a SEC. And we are a registered broker on the GCX, which stands for Ghana Commodity Exchange. So if ever you're looking to understand the regulatory landscape and how we fit in with that, do check out GCX's website, which is the Ghana Commodity Exchange. Look at the memberships and then look at the brokers, and you'll see us listed there as a registered broker. I think that's very important to note, especially when you're dealing with a company, just to know about their standpoint and how they are regulatory governed, or how they are governed in the regulatory landscape. So for us at Grow For Me, we're all about enabling you or enabling anyone to farm without getting your hands dirty. And as I've explained, what we do is we split the profits and we operate not necessarily as an investment company where you would own an asset, but rather a profit sharing model where you're essentially able to share or provide a sponsorship to farmers who are across different regions across Ghana, and they will grow on your behalf. And once it's grown, we will then trade and split the profits amongst the farmer, yourself, and us as a company of Grow For Me. Think of us as the Uber of farming. You won't own the cars, you won't own the farm, but rather you're going from point A to B, and that is to get to your additional residual income, or that is for you to do some social impact. And we are providing you with a platform to which you can connect to the farmers to do so. So let me make that more clearer. So we move on to the next slide. Hopefully this will become a lot more clearer. So essentially what you will do is you'll visit our website, and I'll show you our website very, very soon. That website is growforme.com. Once you go to our website, you'll see the various crops that we have available. And as I mentioned, currently we have maize, soybean, pineapple, and rice available. And rice is closing in the next few days. So anyone watching me today, I'm encouraging you to get involved in rice today because we will be closing it very, very soon, so we can begin farming for everyone that has sponsored rice for this season. And I'll show you exactly how to do that very shortly. So on our website, when you go there, you'll see the crops that are available, and you'll be able to pick the number of units that you would like. Now, we measure each of our crops by the measurement of a unit. And that is because we want to make the units as accessible for everyone as possible. So there's a very low entry fee or a low entry point for anyone to really get involved. From as little as $20, $34, and so on and so forth, you can see what is available depending on the crop. Now that unit is the equivalent of 1/8 of an acre. So if you were interested in getting an acre, you would select 8 units. And I'll make this clearer for you once we go on to the website. So you'll essentially pay for it. You'll sit back, relax. We will do the work for you. So we will be supervising the farmers who will be growing on your behalf. Once we have completed the cycle and we have harvested, Grow For Me will work with the farmers to bag and store the items, and then begin to trade those items either through the Ghana Commodity Exchange, where we do a number of our trades, or directly to the open market, or conduct import and export activities as and when required. And through that trade activity is whereby we will receive the returns on your sponsorship, and that profit will then be distributed amongst the farmer, yourself, and Grow For Me as a company. The farmer will get 35% of that profit. Yourself will get 50% of the profit, and Grow For Me will get 15%. And you'll also get back your principal that you already invested. I do have to put in a disclaimer, however, that like any investment that anyone does, there is never any guarantee of the return back. We, like other companies, whether you want to invest in property or invest in the stock market, cannot guarantee what the return will be. But we at Grow For Me put in as many mechanisms as possible to control the risk, so we can try as much as possible to give back our sponsors a return. Now, when we did maize last year, we returned our sponsors 27% return on their sponsorship. For the soybean sponsors last year, they returned 24% return on sponsorship. As I said, we can't guarantee, so past performance cannot guarantee the future returns for you. However, times where we haven't been able to return a profit, what we have done for our customers is worked with them and rolled over their sponsorship so that we can try as much as possible to get back a return. We can't guarantee we'll always do that, but we always want to do the best for our customers as much as possible to generate a return for them. So now that I've got the disclaimer out of the way, I'll walk you through our website so you can have a better picture what it's like for you to sponsor. So what you'll do, once you get to our website, is the various crops, as I said, that are available. Currently, you can see that maize is there, pineapple is there, rice is there, soybean, and chili. We operate as a company around the farming seasons. A lot of our farms are rain-fed, so they do depend on the rainy seasons in Ghana. And the rainy season typically takes place around now, or April, May time, throughout typically the western view of the summer, but throughout to August, September timeframe, right? So a lot of our farming tends to happen around that time frame. Now we have sold out of the first cycle of maize that was available this year. So now what you'll see available is the next opportunity for us to grow maize on the website, which is in August. You see pineapple, which typically we can do all year round, but the next start date that we'll be doing for pineapple will be the 15th of June. Then we have rice. As I mentioned, we are closing this very, very, very soon. So I'm encouraging anyone that's watching me either on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you may be, rice is what's available right now, and we're encouraging as many of you to get in there before we close the deadline on that. We will be starting the farming on that on the 20th of May. We also have soya bean, where we'll be starting within a month's time or so, and that also is available for you to sponsor. So let me show you the various information points if you are interested. So let's use rice as an example. Rice, you'll see the cost per unit. So as I explained, a unit is the equivalent of 1/8 of an acre. That is approximately 500 square meters, right? Now, if you wanted to get an acre, you will then buy 8 of these individual units. So the 200 cities multiplied by 8, 1,600. So what you would see also is a return on sponsorship. So if you were to sponsor today with 200 cities, which, just to be clear, our website is denominated in Ghana cedis. So if you were sponsoring from abroad, which a number of our sponsors tend to be from outside of Ghana, you will just convert that into your local currency using Google or another currency exchange website. Now, the return on sponsorship, aka ROS, or some may know it as return on investment, but we want to be very clear, this is a sponsorship model. You would see that we offer a range. So that range, a lot of people always ask me, why is your range so large? And I will go into more details about that. But just on a high level, it's just so you know, there are 2 main variables contributing to this range. That is the yield, i.e. the weight of the rice once it's harvested, and also the selling price. So how much we'll be selling the rice for at the end of the harvest. Now, that range we give you because we will aim to give you a profit within that range, okay? As I said, we can't guarantee what your returns will be, but it'll be somewhere between that range. Now, there will be, if there is a profit, that is. There is also the farming start date. So as I explained, rice will be starting the farming. So that means we'll be on the land preparing it to farm on the 20th of May. That's why you have not much time to get involved in sponsoring the rice farms. Then you've got the farming end date. In fact, rice right now is the only crop available on our website that if you sponsor today, you will get, if there is a profit, your return back before the end of the year. The other crops will go over into 2021. You see the farming end date here, you tend to get your payout within 2 months of this date. So the farming, when we complete the harvesting, we will then have a 2-month period to trade those items. More often than not, we'll be able to do it sooner, but you will get back your payouts within 2 months of the farming end date. You also see here the farming location. So you can see that we will be sponsoring farms within Tamale, which is the northern part of Ghana, which is approximately 10 hours out of Accra by car. I had the privilege of going to visit some of the farms in Tamale. To be specific, a lot of these farms around the Gushegu area, which is not so far, or another hour or so drive out of Tamale. But that is the capital of that region, the northern part of Ghana. Now, I want to be very clear. The way that we operate is we don't just sponsor one farm. So if you sponsor this, we don't just put your sponsorship into one farm. And we do that because we want to mitigate as many risks as possible. So we sponsor a number of farms across the region. And when I had the honor of visiting some of our farms that we sponsor in Tamale, I literally went from farm to farm to farm to farm, more than a number of them in that region. We don't sponsor one farm because anything could happen. And let's say, for example, there happened to be a lack of rain in one particular area, then that would obviously impact your sponsorship. So we do as much as possible to diversify the sponsorship across a number of different farms across different areas, to diversify and mitigate as much risk as possible. So let's move on to how we sponsor a farm. So if I click on sponsor farm, you'll be shown this page. On this page, what you would see is the various inputs that will enable you to pick which farm you would like. Now here we are looking at rice. You give your farm a title. So let's name this, for example, Mary's Farm. Name it whatever you want. You will then select, as I explained, the number of units you would like. Now you may decide that you want to go by the number of acres. So you might have in mind you want to sponsor 10 acres. You can simply type in the 10 multiplied by 8, which will give you the 80, right? So that means you have sponsored 10 acres by you putting in 80 units. Now you can sponsor as little as 1 unit, right? So that is the entry point. The minimum you can invest or sponsor is 1 unit. You can sponsor 8 units, which gives you an acre. You can sponsor 80 units, which gives you 10 acres. Or you can go by your budget. So maybe you're outside of the country. Maybe you are in the UK, where I'm from, in London. And maybe you have a budget of £1,000. That £1,000 is the equivalent of about 8,000 Ghana cedis. So you will then select the number of units that will take you to your budget, which would be approximately, I think, roughly 37 units will be approximately £1,000. Maybe you had a budget in US dollars. Again, you get your US dollars. Maybe you've got 1,000 US dollars. 1,000 US dollars is roughly 6,000 Ghana cedis. So you will then select approximately right here, 27 units, which will be the equivalent of your budget. So you can think about it in multiple different ways. So let's go by this example. We're using 1,000 US dollars, which is about 5,940 Ghana cedis. Once you've selected how many units you would like, you then get to see the detailed information here on the right-hand side. Your amount payable includes 10% of service charge, which goes towards the expenses for managing and maintaining the farms and sponsoring the farms. You can see that description just below that. Then you'll see your return on sponsorship. So remember, we gave you a range. So your return on sponsorship will be somewhere between 5.40% up to 21% for rice. Now, the various crops have their own individual price per unit and also the individual range in terms of what your return will be. But for rice, this is what the return and profit margin may look like. Then you've got the example in monetary terms, financially what that would look like based on the range. So if you sponsored $1,000, approximately your return may be $50, right up to, what is this, in roughly $200, I think it is. Yes, I should know that, given that's 20%, 21%. So you're looking at roughly, between $50 up to $200, which will be your profit on top of your $1,000, right? I always encourage people to be conservative. Anything more is a bonus. But as I said, we at GrowForMe always want to try and achieve the maximum value for our customers, and that's what keeps us in business. So this information you can expand if you wanted to get more details, and this information here simply shows you what that sponsorship looks like in a more granular form. So if we planted 27 units of rice, there will be a range of what the weight or the yield of that rice in kilos would be once it's harvested. Of course, you can never guarantee if you plant how many seeds, what the weight will be when it's harvested. So, but we have a range based on information, what we've grown in the past, and also the average that you tend to get from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. So there is a yield per acre, which is an industry standard. Now we have said, okay, based on how many units we have planted for you, what the approximate range would be in kilos, right? In terms of how much you'll weigh. And then you've also got the selling price. Now we are not selling today, so we can't guarantee what the price for the kilos of rice will be today, but rather we know and have a range because of our experience. So typically a kilo of rice will trade for 1.30 cedis, so 1 cedi 30 pesewas, up to 1 cedi 40 pesewas. That is the range that typically rice is sold at. So once we've harvested towards the end of the year and we bag it up and we trade it, we are looking at getting a price point within that amount. And based on that is what will drive your return. So once we receive the profits back, the profits will give us what the following information. So that profit will be somewhere between what you would see is split between both the farmer, yourself as a sponsor, and us as a company at Growth for Me. So you would get 50%. So you'll see here what your range will be, as I explained above. So once you've done that, you've determined what your profits or the number of units that you would like, you can select how you want your harvest. So you can select, do you want it as cash or do you want it as crop? Now, by crop, what it means is that once we've grown the rice, you might want to come and create your own rice brand. So we are growing the rice and you can simply come and take it as raw product, right? And do what you want with it. So that is also available to you. Or you can say you will like it as cash, which is exactly the model that I've explained to you. So once you selected how you would like it, you can simply pay by card. You can pay by mobile money. You can pay by USSD, which is just behind me. If you can see *800 *008 hash or star hash. And you can sponsor very simply if you're in Ghana by that code, or you can do a bank transfer. Now, if you are out of the country, out of Ghana, once you select on card, there is an option for you to pay with a local card or international card. So if you're from the UK like I am, you have a Monzo, you have a Santander, NatWest, whatever it may be, you can pay by those cards by selecting international. If you're based in the US, you have a Bank of America card or Amex, whatever it may be, you can select the international card and pay with that card. If you're based in Ghana, you have a Stanbic card, BT Bank, or Standard Chartered or ABSA, whatever it may be, you can simply select local card. If you're based in Dubai or wherever you may be in the world, if you're local, select local, which is Ghana. If you're abroad, select international. Once you're doing mobile money, those people that are local, you can use your normal network provider to do mobile money. If you're based out of Ghana, there are apps such as TapTapSend, SendWave, TransferWise, which is now called Wise, World Remit. There's a whole lot of companies that now enable you to do mobile money transfers. So once you click on mobile money, you would see the phone number for which you would transfer money to, and you simply use your bank account to send that money towards it. Or you can select bank. If you're based in Ghana, you can do a direct bank-to-bank transfer, or if you're based abroad, you can use, again, another remittance company to send the money to our bank account. And once you click on that, you'll see the various bank account details for Growth for Me. So those are the options available to you. You'll read our terms and conditions, you'll acknowledge, and you'll simply pay now. So once you have paid, you will then have access from the start time of the farms for you to track and manage, or not necessarily manage, but track and monitor your farms that you sponsored. So rice we'll start farming rice on the 20th of May. As I said, if you're looking to get involved in Growth for Me, I would highly encourage you to get involved today, tomorrow, because we'll be closing maize literally by tomorrow, because we'll start farming on the 20th of May. Now, once the farming has started, I'm going to give you an example of the kind of information you will see. I'm going to show you one of the personal ones that I have, that I sponsored as a customer last year. So what you would see is once the farming start date has elapsed, you will start to see pictures emerge in your back office. So you'll get to see the land preparation. So for rice, from the 20th of May, we'll be going to the land to start preparing it to start farming. So you'll get to see the pictures of them starting to prepare and turn the land ready for the farming to begin. Then once we've done the land preparation, you'll start to see the planting. So in Ghana, a number of people might not know, but because we are really working with people that are smallholder farmers, they don't always have access to machinery and mechanisms. So typically in Ghana, it is typical that when you are planting seeds, that you will do a stride. So you can see this gentleman taking a stride. And that is where, once he's done a stride, he will plant the next seed. And that is so that we know the distance for which the seed should be planted. So you get to see those pictures and monitor as the work is going on. Once the planting has taken place, you then get to see the crop growth, which I find is the most interesting point, right? So this is my soybeans that I sponsored last year. So you get to see how the crops are growing during the crop growth phase. And then you get to see the harvesting. So once it is done, the cycle is completed and the farming is coming to an end, you get to see the time when we will be harvesting. So collecting everything, all the products, the crops, getting it ready to dry, getting it ready to bag, store, and ready to trade. So that is essentially how Grow For Me works. As I explained, once you have, we've grown on your behalf and we've harvested, there are two options for you. You can receive your money back as cash. So that's your payout, or you can receive it as crops. And maybe you just wanted to start a business with rice and trade it yourself. You can receive the crop itself. And this is how we split the profits between the three parties. Now, if you're interested in cash, there are three ways for which you can receive your payout. The first way is if you're international and you are outside of Ghana, you can receive your payout to an international bank account. So once you have access to your back office, there is an area for you when you click on payout for you to select where you would like your money to go. Now, if you're receiving your money to an international bank account, there is a fee of $40 for you to receive that payout to go back to it. Now, in Ghana, there is a number of restrictions that the Bank of Ghana put on in terms of taking money out of the country. That's why there is quite a heavy cost, which is through no fault of our own. Unfortunately, that's just how Ghana is when you are sending currency outside of the country. With a local bank account, there is a small charge of 25 cedis. So I do highly recommend anyone that's international and you have affiliations with Ghana, just get yourself a bank account set up in Ghana. And you can do that. You can pay with an international account and you can give yourself the 6 months for which we are growing and then get yourself an account set up in the meantime, right? But if you are local, you of course have access to your bank account. So you can just simply give us your the account details for which we will pay the money back to, and there will be a charge of 25 Ghana cedis, a small charge of 25 Ghana cedis for us to make that payout. That's roughly $4 or £7. I'm speaking off the top of my head, but roughly around those amounts. No, it can't be £7. We're looking at roughly £5, I believe it is for that. But someone can correct me if you're watching on YouTube. I just don't have the figures on the top of my head. Then you've got the virtual card option. Now, virtual card is almost like an e-credit card. And on that card, essentially what you would do is you would get the payout loaded onto that card. And that payout loaded onto that card is something that you could use as an e-card on any platform where they accept visas online. So you'll be given your 16-digit card number and a CVV number, and you can use those details for you to make a payment online. And that is the cheapest option. And there is a small charge of 50 pesos for you to have that virtual card. And then lastly, there's a mobile money. Only people that are based locally that have a local wallet, we can make the payment back into your wallet. I know there are mechanisms for you to send money via mobile money from internationally using apps like SendWave and TapTapSend, etc. But there's currently no reverse way for you to receive the money into a wallet. So only if you have a local wallet that is in Ghana through the various network providers, the mobile money providers, Vodafone Cash, MTN, Airtel, Tigo, you can receive your mobile money at a 1% fee. So those are the ways for you to receive your proceeds and profits once we have completed the farming. So just to wrap up, why us? We insure our losses to cover the principal amount. So we cover up to 70% in the event of drought or flood. Those two trigger points will give us at least some covering up to 70% of the principal amount. We are registered on the Ghana Commodity Exchange, as I mentioned at the beginning of the call. So you can check out, just Google Ghana Commodity Exchange, check out the members or membership, then check out the brokers and you'll see us listed there. If you're interested in how we are regulatory monitored, if we are monitored by the regulatory authority, we get our hands dirty, so you don't have to. We leverage satellite imagery so that you can monitor your farms on an ongoing basis. And really through this pandemic, this global pandemic that we are still in, we have learned that it is still a necessity for food. So agriculture will always be in demand. And what we have seen, especially in Ghana, that as other industries have shrunk, the GDP of Ghana has been proportionally, that agriculture has proportionally taken up a greater percentage of the Ghanaian GDP throughout this pandemic. So really we're seeing an increase in this area, and there's a lot of people trying to get involved. So now is the opportunity for yourselves, wherever you are in the world, and if you're here based in Ghana, if you're here in the UK, if you're based in the US, or wherever you may be, in Dubai, America, Australia, South Africa, Nigeria, Amsterdam, Germany, wherever you are in the world, now is your opportunity to get involved in doing good through the social impact work we do, or simply making a financial return through agriculture. So that is us. I'll wrap up by just showing you the people that are behind this company. We have Nana, who is a CEO of Growth for Me. He's a serial entrepreneur, has built some very successful payment systems in Ghana, so well aware of the regulatory landscape, especially when it comes to the financial industry in Ghana. We have the head of farm operations, which is Francis. He weekly is visiting our farms across Ghana to monitor and supervise them together with his extension team. We have the head of our international trade operations, Godfred, Ganapathy, who's based in India, who oversees the international trade operations. Godfred, who's built this fantastic platform, he's a CTO. Our off-taker manager, Debbie, who oversees local trade activities, and myself, who interacts with yourselves who are interested in sponsoring farms through Growth for Me. And we have one of the co-founders, advisors, and shareholders, which is Kwame as well. So join us now. If anyone is interested, please feel free to reach out to me. My email address is lorraine@growforme.com. I'll just show you that on the first slide. You can reach out to me on my Instagram. You can reach out to Grow for Me at Grow for Me Africa. We are available. We are open on all Grow for Me Africa on all platforms, and you're more than welcome to get involved. One thing which will be of interest to a lot of people, we do a referral program. So if you're already a sponsor or you're sponsoring today, you'll be given a referral code. Let me just show you how that is. If I sign out, I will show you what that looks like. So whoever recommended you to this opportunity, when you sign up, if it was me, for example, and I referred you, or if you're watching this because you've come across my videos, you'll type in my name, which is lowercase Lorraine, or you'll simply reach out to the person who referred you for the opportunity, and you'll get their referral code. And once you come to sign up, you enter in their referral code, and you'll simply sign up with your first name, last name, and email address. I highly recommend signing up with a Google email address or Facebook or Twitter account, just because you don't have to always remember what your password is. So it just makes your life a hell of a lot easier if you have access to signing up with Google, Facebook, or Twitter. So I would recommend, once you've done that and you've signed up, you've put in your referral code, whoever referred you to the opportunity. Once you have logged in, what you would see is you'll get to see a contract where you'll see a profile where you'll enter in. It'll take you less than 5 minutes to do. You'll enter in your information. You do have to upload government issued ID, so passport, driving license, voter's ID, wherever you are in the world, as long as it's a government issued ID. That is so that we can make sure we're paying out to the right individual. And then you'll see a contract, you'll read the contract, you'll simply sign it electronically online, and then you'll be able to begin farming from there. So pretty simple. On your profile, you'll have access to your own referral code. You can either use the automatically generated one, or you'll be able to simply, maybe I can show you how this works, or you'll simply be able to override your own one. And once you've overridden it, you can share that with other individuals. So you'll see your referral code at the bottom. So that is it for us for today. So I hope you're all interested and excited and raring to go with Growth for Me. We are looking forward to having you all on board. And if you want any more information, feel free to reach out to me. As I said, my email address is lorraine@growforme.com. So if anyone's got any questions, either you are watching live on YouTube now or you are here on Zoom, let me have your questions and I can address those. I'm just taking a look at and seeing if there's any questions on the various streaming platforms right now. If you've got any questions, chat it in the chat window and I'll be more than happy to address those now whilst we're on the line. The various streaming. Any questions? Oh, I see a chat. Okay, someone's asked if I can share the presentation. So what I will do, everyone that has registered for today's presentation, I will share it. Alternatively, you can simply go to YouTube where this is live streaming, or Facebook, and visit Grow For Me. And Grow For Me, you'll see the entire presentation there because it's being live streamed. So you can watch this back as and when you please. Any other questions? Brilliant. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining today, and hopefully we'll be getting in touch with some of you soon, or hearing from some of you soon. As I said, rice is available for you to sponsor today. We'll be closing rice by tomorrow because we are kicking off the farming on the 20th of May for rice. You can start farming rice from as little as 200 cedis. So I do encourage anyone that's interested in farming and joining us, feel free to sponsor rice as we'll be kicking that off just this week. And you'll be able to get your payout and any profits that will be due to you by the end of the year. So thank you all for joining. And hopefully we will be getting a lot more of you guys that have joined us today as sponsors. So keep in touch and hopefully hear from you soon. So thank you everybody and have a great remainder of the day. Thank you.